Hi, folks. Good to be with you again. I just want to continue doing these little short visits with you about health, because I feel like it's just the most important thing we could pay attention to right now as a baseline, a foundation and a support for everything else that's happening in our lives and in the world. As we know, it all begins right with us. And certainly health can begin with us. And although I won't speak about this very much, the healthy practices we have, the choices for things that work, spending our voting with our dollar for the kind of things that are healthy and organic and all of that means we're supporting the people who grow organics, who sell organics, the people who do good things are being supported. And that makes an extended difference in our world then from what our own practices are. So my friend Elaine and I were visiting about people continually asking us this question: what have you been doing to look so young and healthy? And we both know the answer they want. They want a special cream, a perfect product or procedure that works instantly. The magic pill consciousness. And, while we've discovered some amazing products and modalities that work really incredibly over a few months of time, the real answer is start young. And if you're not young, start now. We talk to people about eating organic since our youth. I started out on the reservation as a child, and there was a lot of sugar and a lot of things that weren't so good. We lived on a self-sufficient homestead. So actually, a lot of what I had was really excellent wild meat and vegetables from mom's garden and all of that. And, apples and things from the farms around us and all of that. But yet there was sugar and all of those things. And when I got to California in the hippie days, I was probably eating sugar and sort of just what I thought was an okay diet. And I remember some of these kids going, yuck, you're not still eating sugar like that, are you? And I was like, oh, what? I just had to be educated. So I really got a good education there about being healthier and eating well. So anyway, that, eating good food. It'd be so wonderful if we can eat locally, if we can grow our own food, grow sprouts in the kitchen is better than a lot of what you can buy for sure. So eating organic, drinking good, clean water, really paying attention to that. Your cells are made, your whole being is made of water. So what you put in the water side of things is super important. And of course, then exercising, whether it's for strength, cardio, flexibility, all of that. Breathing. I'm one that needs to hear that again and again, because in my childhood, there was so much, that I tended to shut down my breathing from stress and to really get that breath going. And when we get our breath going into our back and really soften ourselves up and really open up, then we're really serving ourselves and dropping the stress that comes from that kind of high breathing that we sometimes get in the habit of doing. Also supplementing where needed. I don't like taking supplements, and it's really clear to me from all the studies I've seen that we're just not getting what we need in the food. And I think about my mentor, Zach Bush. He was a doctor working in cancer research and trying to help people that way, decided to become an actual practicing doctor, started working with people, and he had done his research and he knew that really good, like kale and all these healthy foods would make a difference. And that's what he started working with his patients. But it didn't work. And that was maybe 10 years ago or something. And he said, well, why not? The studies show that it works. And then he started looking at the food and our food practices and all the GMOs and all the factory farming and all the monocultures and all of these things, and realized that the food is not supporting us. and then went on and now does really remarkable work with regenerative farming and all of these things that really help us find a way to be healthy in a natural and very profound and deep way. So the thing is, when we realize that a lot of our food just doesn't have the minerals and things and the nutrient density that we need, it's really good to, work with your health practitioner, but to see where you might need to supplement and get things certainly that are bioavailable. Be careful when you buy things, not just any old thing, but if you're going to do it, spend the money to get something that's really going to work and not just pass out undigested and unused. Another thing is staying away from preservatives. There's so much of that in everything, and as much as you can, staying away from things that are wrapped in plastic. I mean, that's hard to do these days, but that's why it's wonderful to go to local, our local farmers markets and all of that kind of thing, and just stay away from the plastics as much as we can. Another thing, and I might actually do a little segment on this, is to be really careful about the ingredients in your skin products. I didn't realize how many bad things are in most all of the skin products. You really need to do your homework about that one, because I think, I've looked at men's and women's faces, and I see women kind of aging and getting more wrinkled and all this, and men do over time. But when they're in their 30s, 40s, 50s, men don't have any wrinkles a lot of times compared to the women. And they haven't been putting stuff on their face. And I just sometimes think that putting all that stuff on our face probably hasn't been serving us. And certainly if it has all those bad chemicals and things in it. So really take a look at that. But anyway, those are the things we talk about. So what I want to say is, if you didn't start yet, if you didn't start when you were younger, start now. You can make an incredible difference. And health is a lifestyle, and it can include many, many, many things. But really, don't wait. If you're young, it's hard to know what it's like to age. And in this polluted and challenging time, really get what's happening to your body. A lot of aging starts at 25 years old, and especially when we're dealing with all of the lack of nutrient, lack of healthy input, and the input of things that are not healthy, that are in the air, in the water, and all around us. So it's really so good for you to start early. I see so many people, it makes me really sad seeing people 30, 35 years old who are just obviously not healthy. They're not feeling well. Maybe they're carrying more weight. They've got some conditions and other things that, and I want to say to them, honey, change now, get something done now, because you don't even know, you can't even guess what it's like to get older and the challenges that you face in getting older. So it's not going to get any easier, and it's definitely going to get more difficult. So definitely start now. And, studies show that even a half an hour of proper exercise 2 or 3 times a week makes a real and positive difference. So I know it's not easy in the lifestyles you have. They're so busy and so intense, but really, 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 there's nothing worse than being in a body that doesn't feel good and that isn't alive and lively and vital. So I just really want to encourage you. And the last thing I'll share is that it's really good to start with a cleanse of some kind, because, we can put in good things, but if there's a whole lot of gunk, sometimes those things don't reach where they need to go. So it's really, really important to cleanse and to clear. And, there are many kinds of things out there. What I suggest is working with your complementary health practitioner to find out what might work the best. And not any of these things that are really harsh, like do some awful stuff and cleanse madly in 2 days. It's like, I think one of the things that I find best is to fast And there's a lot of information out there now about fasting. And everyone goes, oh, not eating. It's like, come on, takes you a couple of months to die. And the wonderful thing is that you can do something for 24 hours occasionally, and then you can do intermittent fasting where you're not eating for a certain, 14 to 16 hours a day. And basically what it does is give your body time without needing to do the hard work of digesting to cleanse. And it literally automatically goes into cleanse mode when it's not needing to do all that other work. And what's interesting is that indigenous people had a natural cleanse, a natural fast, often because in the springtime, you make it through the winter and with whatever supplies you had. And then in the springtime, it's not like suddenly, oh, everything's green and there's fruit and vegetables. It's like that's a long time down the line. So a lot of the things they did, even like the dandelion greens and other things are really good cleanses and clearing. And so they had a lot of that naturally. And, I don't know if it felt that great. It was challenging perhaps in many ways, and it also helped to create a lot of health for them. So anyway, I'm just saying, start easy, make it as fun as you can. Really love yourself enough to do this and put a little effort into it. The best thing I think is to have one or two friends doing it with you. So you have company and backup, you have somebody to complain to and talk to and get excited with and really hold that line. And I just think that's wonderful to have a few people that are really working with you on that. And know that I'm on your side too. I'm cheering from the sidelines and also offering you everything I can that is helpful, products and modalities and other things that are helpful in your long-term health. So again, last words, start now.